The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
Hello, I'm Jasmine Erojak with Friday's news. In this edition, PM outlines strategic vision while addressing UOG, candidates finalized for Kabwum Open, and Hunters loses Bundy to season-ending injury. Prime Minister James Marape addressed the University of Goroka on Thursday, responding to a 6-point student petition and outlining his government's strategic vision as Papua New Guinea approaches its 50th independence anniversary.
Prime Minister James Marape yesterday addressed the student body, academic staff and leadership of the University of Goroka, responding directly to a 6-point student petition and outlining the government's strategic vision as Papua New Guinea approaches its 50th independence anniversary. He described his interaction with the students as a conversation with the future leaders of the country. He emphasized transparency, inclusivity, and reform while engaging with students on national issues. The Prime Minister addressed the key points from the petition, which included the Anti-Terrorism Act 2024, amendment to Section 145 of the Constitution, the Paul Paraka case, and the reserved business list, among others. He also highlighted his government's broader policy commitments in the areas of law and order, corruption oversight, economic growth, and higher education. The Prime Minister concluded with a call for hope, hard work, and national pride, reflecting on his own humble beginnings and pledging continued investment in education, infrastructure, and services. He also paid tribute to the teachers and encouraged students to build a better future for Papua New Guinea. Ruth Rungula, TVWAN News.
Now that his tenure is secured for the remaining term of this parliament, Transparency International Papua New Guinea urges the Prime Minister to take real action against corruption and drive forward reforms that are required to strengthen governance and accountability in PNG. TIPNG calls on the PM to sack on non-performers, including ministers and department heads, and press forward with electoral reforms, given that PNG is now 18 months away from the 2027 national elections. TIPNG calls for a specific focus on restoring governance in the Electoral Commission, commit to transparency by publishing the current common role online, and establish a process for citizens to check and re-register should they need to, and have an early and consistent release of funding for the PNG Electoral Commission to support their operations and preparation. 11 candidates are contesting the Kabwum Open seat in Morobe Province. Polling in the court-ordered by-election is set for Saturday, July the 12th, and will end on Friday, August the 1st, 2025.
Kabwum was one of the 2 districts in Morobe Province that had its political representative declared under special circumstances following the violence and destruction of ballot papers and boxes and public assets on Sunday, July 17, 2022, while Electoral Commissioner Simon Senai used his powers under special circumstances to declare Patrick Bassa as the local MP on August 8, 2022. Another candidate, Haring Koreka, took the matter to court. On Tuesday, September 24, 2024, the Supreme Court ruled in Koreka's favor by dismissing the 2 review applications filed by Bassa and the Electoral Commission. Their applications had sought to set aside a national court decision made on May 26, 2023 that declared his election win null and void. Due to these events, 11 candidates have nominated to contest in the by-election for Kabwum Open, an electorate that has been without a political representative for 2 years. The first nomination was the former MP Patrick Bassa, who will be contesting against Koreka and 9 other candidates. Polling in the court-ordered by-election is set for Saturday, July 12th and will end on Friday, August 1st, 2025. Morobe's election manager Simon Soheke outlined that the Provincial Elections Advisory Committee will be seeking the support of the PNG Defence Force to ensure the electoral process is not disrupted again. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
A former ward councillor is going after the Popondetta town mayor seat in Northern Province with the aim to overhaul the systems of governance and administration he believes has hampered the delivery of service over the years. Speaking from experience, Ali Pukari, who was once ward councillor of Popondetta Urban LLG, believes there is a lack of coordination and systematic breakdown between the town mayor's office and the LLG office, thus impacting service delivery in the process. Pukari paid his nomination fee Tuesday this week. On his agenda is working with mothers, the youth, and addressing law and order issues. The Electoral Commission office at Boroko was crowded this afternoon as the Electoral Commission began raffling box numbers for intending candidates for the Motu Koita Council seat. Motu Koita Council seat nominations closed Thursday, the 1st of May at 4 p.m. The raffling of box numbers was underway early this afternoon at the Electoral Commission office at Boroko. 7 candidates are vying for the Motu Koita chairman's seat. Russell Simon Wawig has secured box number 10, Miriam Naime has box number 11, Daddy Toka Jr. has box number 12, Beatrice Mahuru has box number 13, Gary G. Dogodo has box number 14, No Matayo has box number 15, and Fred Oala has box number 16. Other box number raffles were held for the women's representative seat. Motu Koita West have 8 candidates and Motu Koita East have 10. Nomination dates have been extended by a week. Hence, intending candidates for LLGs and wards in other parts of the country have at least 5 more days to nominate. The new date for the end of nominations is next Wednesday, May the 7th. PNG Electoral Commissioner Simon Sinai said the extension was requested for mainly bad weather, especially in rural and remote LLGs and wards where candidates have to travel geographically challenged areas to get to nomination booth. These areas include Nomad, Bedamuni, and Pa'a in Middle Fly Western Province, Moorhead in South Fly Western Province, Yas in Kabwum Open Province, and Simbai, Arabaka, and Joseph Stall in Middle Ramu Medang Province. In a minor cabinet reshuffle this afternoon, Member for Kerema and Minister for Energy Thomas Opa has been appointed for new Finance Minister, replacing Mickey Kayok. The Wapenamanda MP was appointed Finance Minister in July last year, following the exodus of MPs, including the Finance Minister Rainbow Paita, to opposition in an attempt to topple the government through a vote of no confidence in May 2024. The change now sees the member for Kariko Peter Iso Aimo elevated to the Ministry of Energy, replacing Thomas Opa. The new minister signed the instruments at the Government House today.
He presently holds when he was holding both finance and transport. Considered all hands on deck, I felt at this point in time this slight reshuffle is in order in the phase that I need to bring in an outside person at the political head into the 3 central departments, finance, planning and treasury, to have a look at what is happening in that space so that the space is serving all of us better, especially the intention to run 2025 budget and go right through for 2026 and 2027. I just want to also indicate to the country at present. We've started this review. All departmental heads and the departments and the portfolio ministers, we've been asking them to come to a review with me and my team. Every performance is under the microscope as I speak.
This is TVWAN News. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more stories after the break.
From the rich soils of the highlands, the finest coffee has been grown by generations of Papua New Guineans, expertly blended and roasted with over 80 years of experience, making the finest cup of Nescafe New Guinea blend, PNG's own coffee.
These two are creeping into your personal space. Why don't we send them packing? Oh, or maybe not.
Bing bang bing, bum bum.
Hurry PNG and enter today to be considered for the 2025 Power Play PNG Awards. Brought to you by ExxonMobil and the PNG LNG project, these awards recognize exceptional Papua New Guineans making significant contributions in the LNG and decarbonization industries. Could you be Papua New Guinea's next great power player? There's only one way to know. Enter now to find out.
For Sam Darry, he's brought greater physicality to his game this year. Here now, into the corner, he scored!
What a battle it will be on this Saturday edition of Magic Round.
Absolutely remarkable!
Such strength that he has, and he uses it. Poppy back to Leotower. He gives it to Jackson.
The Tigers win golden plates as the Dragons try. Flanagan gets there.
It's a new year.
That is exquisite rugby league.
A new season with new beginnings, new leaders, and new hope. The only thing that isn't new is the dream.
That is the NRL at its absolute best.
It all starts now. The NRL Telstra Premiership. Let's go!
Welcome back. Minister for Justice and Attorney General Pilar Niningi has commended the United States government for awarding the billion kina contract to build a fuel storage facility in Port Moresby. The 1.6 billion kina fuel depot is one of the outcomes of the Defense Cooperation Agreement signed and entered in 2023. Minister Niningi reaffirms the continued bilateral partnership and friendship between the two countries since 2023 because PNG is now seeing benefits of this agreement. He said PNG could be a third world country, but when foreign companies invest in the country, they must adhere to the rules and regulations of our country. 275 students graduated today from the School of Humanities and Social Sciences at the 70th graduation ceremony of the University of Papua New Guinea. 53% of these graduates are female, marking a great accomplishment for the school. Among the merits was Jolana Baloiloi's degree paper. Jolana sadly passed away before she could walk up the podium and receive her degree. Her father courageously attended the graduation and received her daughter's degree. Today was the last day of the week-long 70th graduation for the University of Papua New Guinea. Closing it off was the graduation ceremony for 275 students from the School of Humanities and Social Sciences. The school proudly announced that 53% of the graduates are female. On top of that, Mary Mistil-Jerry was presented with the Dean's Award for scoring the highest GPA of 4.45. The event was also a sad one for one family. Among the graduates was father of late Jolana Baloiloi, Tera Baloiloi, who courageously attended the ceremony in his daughter's place. Jolana passed away from a prolonged illness just 2 weeks before she was due to graduate. Her father shared with this newsroom what a vibrant young woman his daughter was.
My message to the siblings was, she left behind a legacy. I want you guys to continue that legacy. My wife and I ensure that we provide all the necessary support for our children to better in their education. As a result, Jolana was to achieve this, and we're very proud of her.
Mr. Baloiloi braved the entire ceremony to collect his daughter's degree when her name was called. He encouraged parents and others who are faced with a similar tragedy to remain strong.
I had to gain the strength today to be able to do this. My message to parents out there in a similar situation as me and my wife now is we've got to move on in life. We've got to move on in life, celebrate and move on in life. The achievements made by Jolana now is an achievement for us, and we are very proud of her.
Meantime, guest speaker at the graduation was Alan Bird. He challenged graduates to create opportunities and not rely on the government. He also stressed changing the corrupt systems in all sectors of the country. Overall, 1,435 students graduated from the 5 different schools at UPNG this week. They were urged to serve the country and change systems that are not working. Mr. Baloiloi made an appeal to the government to improve public health services. While he has accepted his daughter's death at such a young age, he said the illness that led to her death was curable, and if treated effectively, she would have been here today to celebrate her achievement as a graduate with a Bachelor of Arts in Archaeology.
One thing I would say is, her demise came from, according to my inquiry and what I learned from medical doctors, I just wished we had better medical facilities. This was curable. If we had better medical services, this shouldn't have happened. So I hope and wish that the responsible authorities are able to look into this to save the future generation.
BSP Financial Group Limited has announced an increase in its unsecured personal loan product from 50,000 kina to 110,000 kina. This means customers can now borrow up to 110,000 kina with a BSP unsecured personal loan. What's new? The loan limit has been doubled to 110,000 kina, no employment confirmation letter needed for existing BSP customers. External loan refinancing is now allowed, and new BSP customers can apply with just one salary credit as proof. BSP Group General Manager Retail Ronesh Dayal said this change is part of BSP's focus on making banking more supportive and accessible for Papua New Guineans. People are the greatest asset of any business, and for that business to flourish, the people must be valued. K92 Mining Limited, owner and developer of Kainantu Mine in Eastern Highlands Province, recognized its outstanding employees last night for their role in living out the 5 values of the company. Called the CARES Awards, finalists were flown from the mine site to Port Moresby to receive their awards.
K92 Mine is guided by 5 values: collaborative teamwork, accountability, respect, excellence in outcomes, and safety always, put together in short called the CARES. In its inaugural CARES Awards, K92 recognized employees who had shown unwavering commitment to these core values.
We're here to celebrate who we are, who we have become, by recognizing individuals and teams who demonstrate the very best of the vision, the mission, and most importantly, the values that have driven K92 Mining to be the successful mining company that we are today.
Lewins also took time to briefly tell the K92 story, the story of how the Kainantu Mine evolved from nothing to now a rich mine, surpassing its targets every year.
We took a mine that was owned by one of the largest mining companies in the world, that had never been profitable, never been successful, and had been closed for over 7 years. And we made it into one of the most profitable and successful gold mines in Papua New Guinea. We got a mine that in 2024 produced almost 150,000 ounces.
Mineral Resource Authority Managing Director Jerry Gary commended K92 for the CARES Awards initiative and for investing in its people.
And we are very proud of Kainantu in investing, in building the greatest asset this country can have. It is our people, it is our intellects, and it is our men and women who will live beyond our time to carry on the work that we started today.
He also praised the mine management for making this mine a success story for PNG.
I want to take this time to sincerely thank John Lewins and his executive team for bringing a redundant project from ground zero into what it is today as the Papua New Guineans' success story.
As head of the mining regulatory body, Gary also thanked the awardees, all Papua New Guineans, for taking ownership of the mine, standing up to challenges, and being recognized for their good work. Ruth Rongola, TV1 News.
And now the finance news. The kina closed lower at $0.2450 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying $0.2375 US dollars, $0.3697 Australian dollars, $0.2024 euro, and 34.14 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, crude oil, and copper closed higher, coffee and cocoa closed lower, and copra and palm oil closed the day unchanged. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, ASX closed higher, and all ordinaries closed higher as well. You're watching TV1 News. We'll have news overseas when we return. Stay with us.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo and milk taste and added nutrients, Milo and milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG é minha. Pine PNG made.
Tell him shorty come get it. Come grind on me, but met it. Mommy get loose, get loose, get loose. Pepsi in my hand, ice cold, no excuse. I tell him who's gonna bring that groove down. Pepsi with the fresh sound. Tell him who's gonna bring that groove down. Pepsi with that fresh sound. Pepsi, give me some Pepsi bottle. Pepsi, you like it? Pepsi, you like it? Pepsi bottle.
The PNG LNG project has now generated more than 30 billion kina for Papua New Guinea since production commenced. Nearly half of this amount has been paid as tax. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levies and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
Here we go, Sunday afternoon. It's in the end goal, it's a try! Montoya has a try, and the Dogs at long last. Back for tucked under again! Waiting for it, the easiest of tries. Cruz is in and Melbourne finally have their second try. Weeks reels it in, plants it down. The Raiders have hit back.
Tune into Scope this Sunday at 7 p.m. on TVWAN. In this episode, while Warrior set out on educational projects, PNG music icons share insights on evaluation of local PNG music and Easter blessings, which those who need it most. Watch these stories on Scope this Sunday at 7 p.m. on TVWAN.
Welcome back. The Universal Church PNG held a marriage celebration this week where 7 couples publicly declared their love and commitment before God and a congregation of many witnesses both in Port Moresby and Arawa.
The Universal Church PNG this week celebrated the sacrament of marriage. The ceremony was a celebration of love and testament of the transformative power of faith shared between each of the 7 couples. Before joining the church, some of the couples faced conflict in their marriages, including constant arguments, lack of peace, and respect.
Very unexpected day for me. With this, wherein it's been 19 years, we both have been married. Finally, in this church, we came to this marriage ceremony, and our marriage was blessed.
Bishop Jonathan Pine preached on the importance of keeping marriage vows made at the altar.
For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So then they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no man separate. Ecclesiastes, it says, it talks about the importance of keeping our house.
He emphasized on the importance of keeping promises.
When you make a vow to God, do not delay to pay it. For God has no pleasure in vows of fools. We must fear God. And all of you have already been together, living together, have a family together, have children together. But today, you are going to make the most important vow of your life. Not just before the witness here present, before men, but above all, you're going to make this vow before God. Amen? You're going to make this vow before God. And what God has put together, let no man separate. A marriage is for life.
The same celebration was also held for couples in Arawa in the autonomous region of Bougainville. Universal Church Papua New Guinea is inviting married couples to attend a weekly seminar. It runs each Thursday to hear more about strengthening the marriage and family. Rita Kana, TVWAN News.
In overseas news, one of the biggest wildcards of this election will be the impact of the group Muslim vote. It is the grassroots movement aiming to unseat 2 cabinet ministers over the government's handling of the war in Gaza. It would be an enormous task to topple Jason Clare and Tony Burke from their multicultural electorates. But the movement has already caused headaches for Labour, forcing it to divert time and resources into defending a usually safe territory.
This supermarket in the heart of Lakemba, there's plenty of work to be done, but always time for a chat.
Everybody of every community comes here, so they talk about the politics.
Abab Hussain will be voting in Australia for the first time.
My person is Tony. Tony is number 1.
Tony Burke is the local member of Parliament, but the Cabinet Minister is facing a new challenge at this election. His seat of Watson is being targeted by the Muslim vote, a grassroots movement trying to topple Labor MPs over the party's response to the war in Gaza.
No problem. It's an overseas problem.
That doesn't matter for us.
But some here say the issue will change the way they vote.
Doesn't matter Muslim or not Muslim, we're not going to vote for Liberal or Labor.
I've always been a Labor supporter. Very disappointed that they aren't taking the humane attitude to things.
The frustration, I've never seen it on this level. The anger, I've never seen it on this level.
The Muslim vote is backing independent candidate Dr Ziad Basuni in his bid to claim the Home Affairs Minister's seat. Today, both were out greeting early voters in the electorate.
We have seen the Honourable Tony Burke here nearly every day. This is no longer a safe seat.
I've never taken the seat for granted. This election, I'm handling it the same way I always have.
Education Minister Jason Clare also told the ABC he's taking no vote for granted, as the Muslim vote eyes his seat of Blaxland. The group is endorsing independent candidate Ahmed Oaf in his bid to claim it. Some argue there have been some mixed messages coming from the Muslim vote movement. On one hand, it's trying to oust Labor MPs in favour of independence because it's unhappy with the government's response to Gaza. But in the seat of Parramatta, it's encouraging people to back the Liberals over Labor, despite being more critical of the coalition's position on the issue.
This is certainly not a vote for the Liberal Party, so we definitely want to keep Dutton out.
But a Liberal victory in this marginal seat would increase the chance of Peter Dutton getting.
Small communities in the wider Canberra region are urging candidates not to forget them. Thousands of people live close to the capital across the border in New South Wales. Despite their proximity to the ACT, they claim they do not enjoy the same access to services or political attention.
Little more than half an hour from Canberra, Valia Palmer's chooks have plenty of room to roam. The relative isolation might seem attractive, but in this part of the world, a scrambled internet connection is common.
We are, I suppose, in this community lucky because we're high on a hill.
Lately, a local fox has been eating into the profit margins, and the gate is shut to some possible solutions.
Having more internet would allow us to do things with camera surveillance, even sound surveillance, all sorts of things that would have a tremendous impact.
It's not a unique issue. In nearby Womboyne, both the NBN and 5G are hard to come by.
Many of the residents here have defaulted to using Starlink now, which is a reasonable service, but it does come with much higher costs than any NBN service.
Before the campaign, Labor promised it would finish the NBN and provide fibre-to-the-node connections to 94% of the fixed-line network. The local Labor MP wants regional areas included.
We deserve access to high-speed connectivity for business, for school, to stay connected.
Snaking westward out of Canberra through the electorate of Riverina is one of the most notorious roads in New South Wales. Thousands of drivers use the Barton Highway every day, but deaths on the road are all too common, including as recently as the Easter long weekend.
Unfortunately, the sad reality is that if you live in this region, you end up knowing someone that's either been injured or killed on that road.
The first stage of a duplication opened last year, but the second of 5 stages remains in the planning phase. Stephanie Helm is anxious to keep the project from withering on the vine.
It's kind of become a bit of a multi-generational battle for my family. My dad was campaigning for it in the 90s and here I am still campaigning for it, so I hope my daughter's not doing the same thing when she's my age.
And the man most likely to be her MP after the election was once the minister responsible.
The duplication of the Barton Highway is happening. It's a rolling process. It's like the Bruce Highway in Queensland, working towards it stretch by stretch.
Back in Eden Monero, voters in the border town of Queanbeyan can tell they're not in Canberra, especially when they're unwell.
So I think Liberal will be cutting the health system around, and I just can't bear it being cut more than it is.
Sometimes we do miss out on some of the services. A great example is mental health services here. We have to go to Goulburn.
A reminder, not all parts of the capital region were created equal.
A quiet act of language revival is changing the streets of Alice Springs. New bilingual signs have been installed across town, next to the existing ones, using the correct Arrant spelling and pronunciation.
Alice Springs awoke to a new sight, more than 60 new road signs in central and eastern Arundel.
This one will go out at the Mount Undulia Aboriginal community. They've currently got a sign out there that's just a painted car tyre.
The signs were installed in just one day by volunteers from the Bachelor Institute and the group Indigenous.
These signs aren't supposed to replace the original signs, and we're not arguing for that. They're just a value add.
Many of the town's original street signs are already in Arundel, but were written before a standardised writing system, leading to widespread mistakes. The new signs include QR codes linking to pronunciation guides and cultural information. The organisers say the goal is to make the language visible and remind everyone they're in the heart of Arundel country.
Everyone should learn a bit of Arundel. It's a beautiful language and, you know, it's what makes us unique. It's what makes Alice Springs Alice Springs.
For elder and linguist Veronica Parola Dobson, who wrote the Arundel Dictionary, the signs represent her life's work.
I do feel really proud because I got the chance to read and write my own language and my people's language. I'm very proud.
Despite looking official, the signs installed 2 weeks ago were not formally approved by the Alice Springs Town Council. But so far, none have been taken down, and they have the backing of the mayor.
We're told that we're the cultural heart of the country, but we're not very good at celebrating it at times, and I think that this is a small step in what could be a big picture of celebrating our history, and it's educational for everyone.
A quiet act of pride now stands in steel for all to see.
Rio Tinto has been accused of not giving its investors the full story about the environmental impact of its global network of mines, including in Australia. A delegation of Pilbara traditional owners confronted company executives at its annual general meeting in Perth, claiming its mines have caused decades of hurt.
This group of Robe River Guruma people travelled more than 1,400 kilometres to deliver a simple message to one of the world's biggest mining companies, Rio Tinto.
Our country is dying.
She claims the mining giant is taking too much water from her homeland in WA's iron ore-rich Pilbara region.
There's no bird life, there's no animal life anywhere.
Rio is building a desalination plant to reduce its water use.
We have work to do, and we're doing a lot. And I would say I'm very proud of that we are, as the first ones, the ones who are coming up with a desalination plant.
But facing the company's top brass, Miss McGowan had more on her mind than just water.
Your largest mine on our country has been operating for 30 years. You have paid us for 3 years.
There are a number of areas where we need to work together, and you've outlined some of those here today.
But traditional owners believe there are deeper transparency issues.
If you read the most recent Rio Tinto annual report, there's essentially silence on what's happening across the Pilbara with traditional owner groups.
It wasn't just the Pilbara in the spotlight. The company was also accused of failing to address water contamination in Madagascar and not cleaning up a former mine in Papua New Guinea. The claims are part of a global campaign led by advocacy group the London Mining Network, who say there's a gap between what this company tells its investors and the environmental impact of its mines on local communities. Rio has defended the credibility of its public reporting, saying it uses independent experts at all its operations.
This is TVWAN News. Sports is next. Stay with us.
Hey, Boro, I can't wait for my date tonight with Sivona.
You have everything you need.
Nice clothes, good hair.
What about this? Condoms are tested to be safe. Use condoms correctly every time with every partner. It's the best way to have fun and protect what you love.
Protect what you love.
We are the people, connected to our land and sea. Timeless and enduring, it has served past generations, sustains us today, and will support those of tomorrow. A testament to human ingenuity. It can be shaped into limitless forms. It reflects our humanity, strong yet vulnerable. It teaches us to endure challenges to fulfill our purpose. Past technologies inspire us to look inward for creativity and sustainable solutions for the future. It brings families together, fostering moments of connection over shared meals. Known and cherished worldwide, the clay pot is a universal symbol of life, resilience, and connection.
Meet the bank for everyone, everywhere. As People's Microbank, we were proud to be a bank for the people. Now as National Banking Corporation, we are bringing modern banking to all in Papua New Guinea. With more branches and our friendly staff ready to assist you in more places, we are making money matters simple and fair. So wherever you are, however you say it, say hello better banking. Learn more at nbcpng.com.pg.
OpenNet.
The Miami Grand Prix is underway.
You can't overtake until you cross that start-finish line. Can Lando Norris keep Max Verstappen behind? He's done it! He's won it! First time in Formula One! It's victory in Miami! Lando Norris wins!
Thanks for staying with us. Hekari United FC is set to meet defending champions of the OFC Women's Champions League, Auckland United, this Sunday in Papeete, Haiti. The two teams will go head-to-head in the 2024 Grand Final rematch, where Auckland United beat PNG 1-0 to claim the title in Honiara, Solomon Islands. Having finished as runner-ups in 2023 and 2024, Hekari United is more than determined to go one better, and this match against the reigning champions will be a real test. Coach Erickson Komeng places confidence in his experienced players like Mari Kaipu and Ramona Padio to lead from the front.
Preparation has been good. The girls feels excited to be here and to be part of the Champions League Women's with the leadership of Mari Kaipu, Ramona Padio. She captained the team in the last Pacific game. She's with the team, so yeah, I'm looking forward to see my senior players take the lead. After the two runner-ups in the Women's Champions League, 2023 and 2024, I think we've gained a lot of experience from that, and hopefully we can put that into this year's Champions League.
As round 4 of the 2025 Digital ExxonMobil Cup approaches, competition heavyweights Egma Gurias, Engamiox and Mount Hagen Eagles are eager to bounce back from disappointing performances in round 3. Recapping round 3 results, Gurias suffered a 30-20 defeat against a revitalized Central Dabaris team. Miox held on to a 4-all draw with Port Moresby Vipers in a tightly contested match in Wabeg, and Eagles continued their early season struggles, losing 28-22 to the Goroka Lahanis in Goroka.
The stakes are high, and all 12 franchises are gearing up for a crucial weekend of rugby, aiming to re-strategize and regroup for better outcomes. The Santos National Football Stadium is set for another doubleheader, kicking off with Egma Gurias against the Gulf Iso. Gurias are determined to turn their fortunes around after last week's loss. Rookie coach Waterfall Poirot Jr. has called for a strong start and consistent performance. The return of star centre Emil Benjamin from injury is a significant boost. Joshua Mire will start at halfback alongside Wesley Batari, while Sakia Sliprin steps in for the injured Ilya Stanley at fullback.
I think we just need to go back to drawing board. We review this game. We prepare for the next game.
Iso, coached by Roger Laka, aims to restore some pride after a heavy 32-8 defeat to Mendi Muruks. They started the season strong with a 24-10 win over Kimber Cutters. Captain Elekim Lokara is expected to return, adding experience to the young side. The Vipers-Tumbe clash promises to be a thrilling encounter. Tumbe, under rookie coach Kopul Whistle, showcased their potential against Wigman last week, but fell short due to inexperience. They will bring energy and speed, making them a challenging opponent for the Vipers.
At this moment, there's a lot of young boys that people are recruiting from Governor's Cup, and with a few senior boys, outside the league, but the combination where people work with them, there's a lot of things that people need to work on them, just to improve the game.
In the other round 4 fixtures, Miox are looking to hold Wigman's winning streak, while Eagles aim to bounce back and secure a much-needed victory when they face the Barries and Mins. For the Kimber Cutters and Muruks class, it is a must-win game for the hosts, who hope to pull off an upset against favourites Muruks in front of their home crowd at Peter Humphreys Oval. To conclude round 4 on Sunday, Goroka Lahanis will test the early winning form of Ley Tigers at the Ley Rugby League Oval. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
The PNG Hunters have been dealt another blow with gun prop forward Koso Bandi ruled out from this weekend's Host Plus Cup Round 8 clash with winner Manly after suffering a season-ending ACL injury. He will be sidelined for an extended period. This is a significant blow for both Koso and the team, as he was just starting to find his rhythm again and playing some strong footy.
Koso Bandi has been ruled out from this weekend's Host Plus Cup Round 8 clash with winner Manly Seagulls with a season-ending ACL injury. Head coach Paul Ayton said this is very unfortunate, especially at this crucial time of the season.
Koso was just starting to get in a bit of form, his fitness was picking up. Benji was playing real good footy as well. It's unfortunate, but that's just the game that we play, and it's unfortunate for those boys, but then it gives some of the new boys the ability to step up and take that, and because of that, now Jacob Lott's got his chance to play and starting as well and impress on the weekend. Yeah, no, we've got Jacob starting and possibly Elijah. Yeah. We've got him in there, but we're just making sure everything's good before the weekend. Give him as much time as possible. We don't want to rush him back, so we want to make sure that he's good to go. And from all this week so far, he's been training really well. He said he feels good, so he'll be there, and we've got an extended bench anyway in case.
Despite the setback, Ayton acknowledged the opportunity this presents to others in the squad. Ayton said Koso will get the best medical care and rehab program available to him in PNG and Australia, and wish him a smooth and strong recovery, while they will continue to support him through his rehab process. Meanwhile, Wigman's wrecking ball Jacob Lott earns the number 10 jumper to make his debut against the Seagulls, partnering veteran prop and fellow Western Highlander Jordan Pat, while the bulk of the players are retained from last week's winning side. Eliza Roltinga returns to partner Alex Max in the centres, while Graham Rex is out. Coach Ayton said they won't be taking any team lightly, regardless of where they are on the table. Wynnum currently occupying third place on the points table with 10 points, while Hunters are placed 7th with 8 points.
Yeah, no, we're expecting their best, and it's a tough competition, and it doesn't matter who the opposition is. That they come to play, and especially when they're playing Hunters at home. So I'm sure they'll be preparing for a big game up here, and we're not taking them lightly at all. We're taking it very seriously. We're really highlighting this week, last few weeks actually, just reducing our error count, focusing on our penalties and how we can improve those numbers, and also just making our tackles.
The match is scheduled for 3 o'clock this Sunday at the Santos National Football Stadium. After the Seagulls match, the Hunters will be away in Queensland for 2 consecutive weekends for Round 9 and Round 10 against North Levels and Townsville Blackhawks, respectively. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
New South Wales women have won State of Origin opener over Queensland Maroons yesterday at the Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane. The Blues won 32-12 to draw first blood. They will now have home ground advantage for the following 2 matches at Allianz Stadium in Sydney on May 15th before they head to Newcastle less than a fortnight later for a potential decider at McDonald Jones Stadium on May the 28th.
2025 State of Origin Series is
The New South Wales Blues women produced an ambush on Queensland Maroons women at home and claimed a convincing win to open the 2025 Women's State of Origin Series. The Blues crossed the line first in the opening quarter of the game through centre Jessica Cedrins and set the platform for their game.
Maroons defence, they're just holding on, you think, here, Queensland. It's with Southwell. Now running back on the angle and almost getting to the line as Clydesdale out the back to Davis. Now Johnson. Johnson finds Apps. Here goes Kessie. Gives it to Sanchez. First try, New South Wales.
The Maroons returned a favour shortly after through Sienna Lopifo, after the inexperienced Blues fullback Abby Tretz failed to contain the towering kick from the Maroons halfback Ali Brigginshaw.
Hand up early. You're happy with what you've seen from both halves to start the game?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we haven't had much opportunity yet, but yeah.
Oh, hold on, John, because Queensland are in. Sienna Lafippo scores a try off a kick, and Queensland hits straight back.
A try each to Isabella Kelly and Jamie Freshard extended the lead, but the Maroons cut the deficit down to 14-12 following a classic try to a debutant centre, Rory Owen. However, this would be their last try of the match as the Blues dominated the remainder of the game.
A few committee meetings happening out in back players. Aiken, lovely pass and steaming onto it and scoring a try on debut is Rory Owen. Queensland do hit back with a beauty.
The Blues winger Jamie Freshard crossed the line for a double before the front rower Ellie Johnston scored on the upright and extended the margin. The Blues fullback Abby Church put the icing on the cake with a brilliant try to close the game 32-12 in favour of the Blues. The Blues will play for the series in Game 2 scheduled on May 15th in Sydney, and the Maroons, on the other hand, will play to keep the series alive.
The NRL Magic Round has seen all the NRL matches scheduled for Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane, with 2 matches kicking off tonight. This round brings some big games headlined by Brisbane Broncos and Penrith Panthers.
The NRL Magic Round is here. The Parramatta Eels takes on the Cronulla Sharks in the opening game. The Sharks take the field for a must-win match after an embarrassing defeat to West Tigers last weekend, while the Parramatta Eels aim at recording second straight wins with Mitchell Moses steering the team. In the later game, the Sydney Roosters and Dolphins will battle for a spot in the top 8. Roosters recorded a resounding win heading into this game, while Dolphins, on the other hand, bombed their second win away to Canberra Raiders last weekend. Super contest is expected between these two much improved teams. Triple header on Saturday will see South Sydney Rabbitohs meet Newcastle Knights at 3 p.m. for the first game of the day before New Zealand Warriors plays North Queensland Cowboys. Both Warriors and Cowboys have been impressive so far this season. This game is amongst the top matches of the round. The Tigers and Illawarra Dragons closes up the triple header. Not much changes to both teams from last weekend, except for the Dragons that are debuting new halfback Likan King Togia replacing Lachlan Elias. The Canterbury Bulldogs are expected to bounce back against the Gold Coast Titans in the opening game on Sunday after their first defeat of the season to the Brisbane Broncos last weekend. The last 2 matches are the main draw cards of the round. The Brisbane Broncos up against the Penrith Panthers and Melbourne Storm meet Raiders. All these teams are in fine form. Catch all these matches on TV1 Sports. Rex Litter, TV1 Sports.
And that ends the sports segment. We'll now have the weather forecast. Regional forecast. Southern. Port Moresby cloudy periods with possible heavy rain showers and thunderstorms. Alotau and Popondetta few showers. Momase, Lae few showers. New Guinea Islands, Kokopo, Rabaul and Buka possible brief showers. Highlands, all centers cloudy periods with possible heavy rain showers and thunderstorms. Ocean forecast. Coral Sea, seas rather rough, becoming rough at times with east to southeast winds of 15 to 25 knots, reaching 33 knots at times. Solomon and Bismarck seas smooth with east to southeast winds of 5 to 10 knots. Pacific Ocean, seas smooth to slight with east to southeast winds of 5 to 15 knots. And coastal waters forecast. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru to Kiwa Island, Karamayul Island, Put Point to Samarai Island. Seas 1 to 2 meters, rising to 2.5 meters at times, and rising further to 3 meters along warning areas. And that ends TV1 News. Have a safe weekend. Good night.
TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by